Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are still looking at government and a very strong topic again, democracy. All right. What is democracy? According to the 16th American president, Abraham Lincoln, democracy is a system of government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That means what it's trying to say is that power lies in the hands of the electorate. All right? It is of the people, governed by the people, and at the same time for the people. All right? Because if you elect people, it is for them to actually govern you back in accordance to what you actually want. So, this government of the people, for the people, and by the people in that sense, or of the people, by the people, and for the people. Okay, but aside that, what is democracy? Democracy is a government of elected representative, a system of government where you come out during election to vote for someone that will represent you in any political office. It's a democracy. If I like when I vote for you to govern me, all right, to be at the helm of affairs, then automatically it is a democratic government because you did not force yourself into that office. I made you to occupy that office. So it is democratic. All right. So a system of government in which your being in an office is by the people's choice or will is democratic. All right. Now, democracy is actually derived from two Greek words, demos and kratia. Demos, it means people, all right? Then kratia, which means rule of government, okay? So what government rule? Government does not rule over non-living things. So government rules over people. So government by which people are ruled over is referred to as democracy through periodic elections. So we now have what they call features of democracy. That means characteristics of democracy. Those things you find in a government that makes you think the government is democratic. Number one, you have what they call rule of law. In our previous video, we made it clear the meaning of rule of law. The rule of law simply means supremacy of law over everybody, where you have equality of law, all right? Where everybody is being controlled by the law. Nobody is above the law, all right? Yes, that means the law that is applicable to the president should be applicable to the common man and vice versa. The fact that you occupy a very high position does not mean that you are above the law. So, if you must practice a democracy, you must adhere strictly to the principle of the rule of law as propounded by A.V. Dicey. In his book, he calls Introduction to the Laws of the Constitution, published in 1885. Then we have what they call judicial independence. For you to practice what they call democracy, judiciary must be independent. It must not be controlled by the executive. That's the problem we've had these several years in Africa, where the president had to appoint the Chief Justice of the Federation, all right, based on advice of the National Judicial Commission, subject to ratification by the legislature, all right. You discover that if judiciary is not independent, then it can have fear and, of course, favor a particular, person in office that has given him such appointments, all right. So if the judiciary is independent, appointed directly by National Judicial Commission, all right, without subject to ratification by anybody, it is independent. It discharges the duties effectively without fear or favor. Then we talk about separation of power. For you to say we are practicing democracy or we are in a democratic setting, there must be what we call separation of power. What's separation of power? That's governmental division of powers among the three organs of government. The legislature should make the law, the executive should implement the law, and the judiciary should interpret the law. Only one man cannot do the three functions. All right? Otherwise, according to Lord Acton, powers will be too much in the hands of such a man. As he rightly said, powers corrupt, but absolute powers corrupt absolutely. Then we talk about rights of man. For you to have democracy, everybody must have certain rights, all right, as found in the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, adopted by all nations of the world. You would agree with me that in Nigeria, for example, 1999 Constitution as amended has fundamental rights assigned to every citizen. One of such rights is the right to life, that every man shall have the right to live, and no man shall have the right to deny you of your right to live. No one shall kill you unjustly, all right? Yes, and apart from the right to live or right to life, you must have the right to freedom of movement as enshrined in the 1999 Constitution as amended. You have the right to freedom of movement. You can move from one location to another, all right, to live your life, and no one shall deny you of such a right. Then you also have what they call right to freedom of association, religion, property, and all of that. Then we talk about periodic election. For you to really say we are practicing democracy, you have periodic election. All right. Without periodic election, it produces presidents, governor, and people in office for life. I'm sure you wouldn't want to have president for life or governor for life. So in order to prevent what they call president for life or governor for life or senators for life, then we have periodic elections. Every election in Nigeria is held every 4 years, all right? The next election in Nigeria will be by 2027, all right? That's that. So it's periodic every 4 years. Then minimum of 4 years, maximum of 8 years. That's 2 terms. Then we have what they call supremacy of the constitution. All right, every constitution must be supreme. In Nigeria, what we practice is rigid constitution. Our constitution is very rigid. It requires two-thirds majority for it to be amended. Our constitution is what? Not unwritten. It is a written, rigid constitution. And don't forget, when you say a constitution is written, it means that everything is codified in the existing book called constitution. All right, but when it is unwritten, it means that although it is written, no, but not in a single document, as we find in the United Kingdom that run on written constitution, where you have the Magna Carta Bill of 1215, then Bill of Rights and all of that. There are different laws found in different, books that make up their constitution, making the constitution to be unwritten. Then we talk about legitimacy. For you to say this government is democratic, it must be legitimized. Every government must be legitimized, all right? Yeah. And normally, government that emerges through, popular elections, all right, or popular choice of the people should be legitimate, should be legitimized, all right, or should be a legitimate government. Okay, should be an accepted government. That's all. Okay. Then we talk about public opinion. In a democratic setting, everybody must have the right to opinion. All right, you opine on issues that concern the states. All right. But in Nigeria here today, sometimes we don't have the freedom of opinion. Okay, you come online, the National Communication Commission regulate the way you talk on air, even as you telephone online. All right, when there is a live radio program, they control your manner of speech and all. Okay, so that's that. So that shouldn't occur in a democratic setting because everybody should have the right to freedom of speech. Then we have what they call the press freedom. Press refers to the journalist. Every press or journalist, you have the right to, report issues in accordance with the provisions of the existing law, and no journalist should be denied such right. Okay, so that is the few we can discuss under democracy. All right, the definition, the features. All right. So in our next class, we shall look at fundamental rights. Yes, welcome back. We are in another topic, fundamental rights. In our previous video, we looked at fundamental rights under features of democracy. Okay, we mentioned some few rights, but here we are looking at the fundamental rights proper. Okay, now what's fundamental human rights or fundamental rights? Fundamental rights refers to the rights of man as enshrined in the Constitution. It refers to inalienable rights of man. The rights of man as a citizen in the country where he or she resides. Okay, you must have some certain rights and all of that. Okay, those rights are rights that cannot be denied you, provided you are a citizen and you are not an alien or a foreigner. Now, as a citizen in the country where you are residing, these are some of the rights that you must actually have as entrenched in the Constitution. Number one, we have what they call right to life. Okay, what does it mean? You have the right to live, and nobody shall take your life or kill you for no just cause. Otherwise, the person will pay dearly for it as entrenched in the Constitution. Then we have the right to freedom of speech. It is here that everybody has the right to freedom of opinion as one of the features of democracy I gave earlier. Even press freedom will come here. All right? The press, ordinary citizens, all of them have the right to express their opinions. All right? Without being denied of such rights. You can go on air and then you air your view on what you think is going on in the political space. All right? Yeah, if you think you are not being governed well, as a citizen, you have the right to speak out. All right? If you think things are not going on well, you have the right to also air your view on such issue. All right? And you shall not be denied such right. And I've told you that the press freedom will also come here. The press refer to the journalists, and all of them have the right to report issues of human rights violation without being denied such rights. And away from there, we talk about right to freedom of association. You can actually belong to any association you wish to belong to. All right, you can belong to Nigerian Union of Teachers, you can belong to Nigerian Union of Journalists, any association you want to belong to. You can even belong to peer group association, you can belong to Boy Scout, Guest Guide. You are very free and nobody shall deny you of such rights. Then you have the right to freedom of movements. You can actually move from anywhere to anywhere in the country where you are residing. Anybody can move from Benin to reside in Sokoto, vice versa. You can live in my Meduguri, you can go live in Eboma, you can live anywhere you want to live. All right, no one shall, because you are living within the country called Nigeria, within the state. Okay, so you have the right to freedom of movement, and that's why when there is curfew, it becomes a limitation to the right of man. Okay, because it is actually against the right. Now, we have the right to property. Okay, everyone has the right to acquire property anywhere, all right, save the land of the federal government. Okay, now anywhere at all you can own a property in the country where you are reside. You can be a Benin person, but you have a property in Kano. You can even have a property in Bayelsa. You can have a property in Anambra State. Okay, you can own a provided it is, owned in such a way that you are not breaching the law. Okay, is owned in accordance with the provisions of the existing law. Is owned accordingly, all right, in accordance with the law. Then we have the right to dignity of human person. You must have respect for everybody. You shall not assault anybody. You can't see someone on the street and you begin to beat. That will amount to battery. You can't harass someone, it will amount to assault. Okay? Yeah. So in order to, respect human, all right, to have dignity of human person, you must avoid the issue of battery, hitting someone unjustly, or having a case of assault, as harassing one unjustly. Then we have rights to religion. All right, you have the right to belong to any religion you wish to belong to. You can be a Christian, you can be a Muslim, you can as well be a traditional worshiper. All right, if you want to worship Ogun, you can. Nobody can deny you of such rights. Okay, if you want to worship Shango, you can even choose to worship a tree in your compound. Nobody will have to oppose you. You can be a Muslim, a Christian. Nobody has the right to deny you. All right, provided it's okay within the confine of your religion and you're not affecting other people's religion. And these are some of the rights that we have under, fundamental rights. Okay, so that's that. In our next class, we shall look at another topic.